Mia, can I ask you something?
Of course.
Why are you always so positive?
Me?
Yes, you.
I think you've got the wrong person.
No, I don't. I've never heard you complain about anything.
That's definitely not true.
Really?
Just this morning, I spilled coffee all over my white shirt.
See? You're smiling while telling the story. If that happened to me, I'd probably complain for at least an hour.
Oh, trust me, I wasn't smiling this morning.
You weren't?
Not at all. I looked at my shirt and thought, well, this is a great way to start the day.
Exactly, that's what I mean. You still found a way to laugh about it.
Not immediately. That's the part people don't see. I was annoyed. I had to change my clothes. I almost missed the bus.
So you do have bad mornings.
Of course I do. Everyone does.
Then why does it always seem like you stay positive?
Maybe because you're seeing the end of the story, not the beginning.
That's an interesting answer. So let me ask a bigger question. Is positivity something we're born with, or is it something we learn over time?
I think that's exactly what we're going to explore today. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Cozy English Corner. I'm Mia.
And I'm Jack. We're really happy you've joined us.
In today's episode, we'll learn useful English for talking about difficult situations, encouraging other people, and developing a more positive mindset.
And together we'll explore what positivity really means. Is it always smiling, always being happy, or could it be something completely different?
As always, stay with us until the end for our cozy word tour, where we'll revisit today's vocabulary through the stories we've shared.
If you enjoy learning English through relaxed conversations like this one, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to Cozy English Corner.
And here's our question for you. Do you think you're naturally a positive person? Or is positivity something you've learned over time?
You know, Mia, your story reminds me of one of the worst mornings I've had in a long time.
Worse than a coffee stain?
Much worse. It started with my alarm. Or, to be more accurate, it started because I didn't hear my alarm.
You overslept.
By almost 40 minutes. I jumped out of bed, got dressed as fast as I could, and made a cup of coffee to take with me.
Let me guess. You didn't get to drink it.
Not exactly. I managed to spill almost the whole cup down the front of my shirt.
So now both of us have coffee stories.
Exactly. I had to change my clothes, which made me even later. Then I got stuck in traffic. When I finally arrived at work, I realized I'd forgotten my headphones at home.
One problem after another.
That's how it felt. By 9 o'clock, I was already thinking, this day is a disaster.
If I'd been there, I probably would have said, try to look on the bright side.
That's a great expression. To look on the bright side means to focus on the good part of a difficult situation instead of only thinking about the bad part.
Exactly. Maybe you were late, but at least nobody got hurt. Maybe your morning was stressful, but it was only one morning.
At the time, I wasn't interested in bright sides.
I guessed that.
A colleague actually smiled at me and said, "Keep your chin up."
Another useful expression. It means don't lose hope. Things will get better.
I remember thinking, easy for you to say. Now I realize they were just trying to encourage me.
Can I ask you something?
Sure.
Did the coffee actually ruin your morning? Or did everything that happened after it ruin your morning?
I've never really thought about it. Maybe the coffee wasn't the biggest problem after all.
Interesting, because your story reminds me of the worst interview I've ever had. A few years ago, I had a job interview that I thought would change my life.
That sounds important.
It felt important. I spent days preparing. I practiced my answers. I chose my clothes the night before. I even arrived 20 minutes early.
You were ready.
At least, I thought I was. But as soon as the interview started, everything went wrong.
What happened?
I became nervous. I forgot simple words. One of my answers didn't even make sense. When I left the building, I knew I hadn't done well.
That must have been disappointing.
It really was. On the way home, I kept thinking about all the things I should have said differently.
Did anyone try to cheer you up?
My sister did. She said, just make the best of it.
That's a useful expression. To make the best of it means to accept a difficult situation and try to find something good in it instead of giving up.
At the time, I didn't want to hear it. I just wanted another interview.
Did you get the job?
Unfortunately, no. A week later, they emailed me to say they'd chosen someone else.
Ouch.
For a few days, I felt terrible. Then something interesting happened. I stopped thinking about the interview and started thinking about the job itself.
What do you mean?
The more I thought about it, the more I realized I didn't even want that job. The working hours were long. The office was far away. The position wasn't really right for me.
So in the end, everything worked out.
That's not the point.
Really?
The interview didn't suddenly become a good experience. I was still disappointed. I didn't magically stay positive all the time either.
That's another useful expression. To stay positive means trying to keep a hopeful attitude even when things don't go the way you expected.
Exactly. But I wasn't positive because everything was fine. Something else changed.
Then what is the point?
Let's try something together.
Another experiment?
A very simple one. And everyone listening can join us.
All right.
Imagine two people miss the same flight. They were both going on holiday. They were both excited. Now, they're both stuck at the airport.
Person A gets really angry. They complain about everything. They say, "This is the worst day ever."
Person B is disappointed too. But after a few minutes, they say, "Well, let's see what happens next."
Okay, which person is more positive?
Don't answer yet. Let's try another one.
Two students take the same exam. Both fail. One says, "I'm terrible at this. I'll never pass."
The other says, "I'm disappointed, but now I know what I need to study."
Same question. Which student is more positive?
One more. Two friends lose the same job. One spends weeks saying, "It's not fair."
The other says, "I don't know what's going to happen, but I'll start looking for something new tomorrow."
So, who's the positive person?
I'd probably choose the second person every time.
Would you?
Wouldn't you?
Honestly, I don't think we know.
Really?
Think about it. Maybe the second person cried on the way home. Maybe they were scared. Maybe they felt angry too.
I hadn't thought about that.
People often imagine that positive people never feel disappointed. I don't think that's true.
So being positive doesn't mean smiling all the time.
Exactly. Your first reaction is often just an emotion. You can't always control it.
Then what can you control?
What you choose to do after that first reaction.
So positivity isn't the first thought that pops into your head.
Maybe it's the next decision you make.
I like that idea, but I'm still not completely convinced.
Good, because we're not finished yet.
You know, your question reminds me of something that happened a few years ago.
What happened?
I applied for a training program that I really wanted to join. I was sure I'd get accepted. I'd worked hard. I prepared everything carefully. So when I got the email saying, "We're sorry," I was crushed.
I can imagine.
For days, I kept wondering what I'd done wrong. I read my application again and again. I thought, if I'd answered that question differently, or if I'd had a little more experience.
That's something many people do after a disappointment.
Exactly. Then I decided to stop thinking about what I couldn't change. Instead, I tried to learn from my mistakes.
That's a really useful expression. To learn from your mistakes means thinking about what went wrong so you can do better next time instead of blaming yourself forever.
I updated my application. I practiced my interview skills. Then I almost forgot about it. A few months later, something unexpected happened.
What was it?
A friend invited me to a small networking event. I almost said no, but I went. There, I met someone who told me about another opportunity. It wasn't even on my radar. I applied. This time, I got in.
Wow.
It turned out to be a much better fit for me. The people were wonderful. I learned more than I ever expected. Looking back, I can't imagine choosing the first program anymore.
That sounds like what people call a silver lining.
Exactly. A silver lining is something good that comes from a difficult situation, even if you don't see it at first.
Sometimes it takes weeks or even years before you notice it.
You know what's strange? For years, I thought getting accepted into that second program changed my life.
Didn't it?
Actually, the disappointment changed it. If I'd been accepted the first time, I never would have met those people. I never would have found that opportunity.
That's a powerful thought.
Maybe the happiest moments in our lives don't always begin with good news.
So, after everything we've talked about today, what actually makes someone positive? I don't think it's smiling all the time.
Definitely not.
And I don't think it's pretending everything is fine when it isn't.
That sounds exhausting.
It does. Real positivity has room for disappointment, for frustration, even for bad days.
Then what's different?
What happens next?
What do you mean?
Everyone has moments when life doesn't go as planned. You spill your coffee, you miss an opportunity, you fail an exam. You have a difficult conversation. The first reaction is usually just an emotion. But after that,
So positivity isn't about your first thought.
exactly. It's about your next decision.
I really like that.
There's one last expression we should learn today. Bounce back.
That's a great phrasal verb. To bounce back means to recover after something difficult and become strong again.
Notice that it doesn't mean nothing bad happened. It means you kept going anyway.
You know, I think I understand my coffee story now.
Really?
The coffee stain wasn't my problem.
No?
The rest of my morning was. I decided that one bad moment meant the whole day was ruined.
And if the same thing happened tomorrow?
I'd still be annoyed. I'd probably still need to change my shirt.
Of course.
But maybe I wouldn't let one small accident decide how the rest of my day feels.
I think that's the biggest difference. Not avoiding bad days, but learning how to bounce back from them.
Maybe that's what being positive really means.
Okay, it's time for our cozy word tour.
And today, every expression comes from a moment in our conversation.
Let's start with look on the bright side. Remember Jack's terrible morning?
The one with the coffee stain, the traffic, and the forgotten headphones.
Exactly. To look on the bright side means to focus on the good part of a difficult situation instead of only thinking about the bad part.
For example, we missed the bus, but let's look on the bright side. We have time to grab a coffee.
Next is keep your chin up.
That was what my colleague told me at work.
It means don't lose hope. Things will get better.
It's a simple expression, but hearing a few kind words can make a big difference.
Then we had make the best of it.
Your sister said that after your interview.
Right. To make the best of it means accepting a difficult situation and trying to find the best possible way forward.
Sometimes we can't change what happened, but we can choose what to do next.
Our fourth expression was stay positive.
And we discovered that staying positive doesn't mean pretending everything is perfect.
It means trying not to lose hope, even during difficult times.
Then came my favorite expression today, silver lining.
A silver lining is something good that eventually comes from a difficult situation.
Sometimes you don't see it until months or even years later.
After that, we learn from your mistakes.
Instead of asking, why did this happen to me? We can ask, what can this teach me?
That's often a much more helpful question.
And finally, bounce back.
To bounce back means recovering after a setback and continuing to move forward.
Just like my coffee stain. The stain didn't ruin my day. What happened after it almost did.
7 useful expressions and maybe one important lesson.
Being positive isn't about having a perfect life. It's about deciding what to do after life surprises you. I'd like to go back to the very first question I asked today.
The one about me always being positive?
Exactly. At the beginning of the episode, I asked, why are you always so positive?
And now?
Now I think I asked the wrong question.
What should you have asked instead?
What do you do after a bad day? Because maybe that's where positivity really begins.
I think so too. Not when everything goes well, But when life doesn't go the way you hoped, and you decide what to do next.
That feels much more realistic. Nobody is positive every minute of every day.
And nobody has to be. Before we finish, we'd like to leave you with one question. What's one difficult moment that taught you something valuable?
Take a moment to think about it. Sometimes our biggest lessons come from the experiences we'd never choose to repeat.
Thank you so much for spending this time with us here at Cozy English Corner.
If you enjoyed today's conversation, we'd really appreciate it if you liked the video and subscribed to the channel.
And tell us in the comments, what's one difficult experience that helped you grow?
You know, I probably won't remember today's coffee stain a year from now.
Maybe not, but you just might remember what it taught you.
See you next time.
Until then, keep learning, keep growing, and stay cozy.
Bye, everyone.